I move to open the Town of Marshfield Conservation Commission meeting for January 7th, 2026. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have one business item, and when Mr. Armstrong arrives, I'm going to take him because we have a heavy agenda, and I don't want to make him sit here all night. So I thought he might be here at the beginning, but he's not, so we'll see. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
We have two sets of minutes, December 3rd and December 17th. Did any of you have any changes or comments? Or
I haven't had a chance to.
Okay. I reviewed them, and I had two very small
Yes.
edits. So I move that we approve the minutes for December 3rd and December 17th as,
I need to abstain for 17th. I wasn't here for that meeting.
okay.
So to vote on the minutes, right?
Well, you can still vote on the minutes if you
Okay.
need that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've reviewed the video and agree with the
I wasn't here,
minutes.
but I looked at the video.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah,
as-
so-
as if
so
I
you
was
As long
there.
as you did that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think, we can, I move that we approve the 12-3 and the 12-17 minutes. A second, please?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, our first hearing is 121 Grandview Ave. I will read the legal notice. In compliance with the regulations of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Code of the Town of Marshfield, Chapter 294, Wetlands Protection, a public hearing will be held by the Marshfield Conservation Commission on Wednesday, January 7th, 2026, to consider the notice of intent filed for 121 Grandview Ave, and the hearing officer is Commissioner Miles.
Was this one
I
continued?
thought this
We're
was
going to
continued.
continue, but we're going to open it.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
I
okay.
just need you to,
Oh, okay.
we do not, we have,
Since this
the
one is-
application is lacking some information, and the abutters were not notified.
Okay, so we are going to continue this. I move to continue this to the next meeting, which is
The
I think
21st.
21st.
January 21st. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Thank you. Okay. Next is 1222 South River Street, also a new hearing. In compliance with the regulations of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Code of the Town of Marshfield, Chapter 294, Wetlands Protection, a public hearing will be held by the Marshfield Conservation Commission on Wednesday, January 7th, 2026, to consider the notice of intent filed for 1222 South River Street. And the hearing officer is Commissioner Lake.
Thank you. Mike, have all the administrative requirements been satisfied?
Yes, all administrative requirements have been met.
Do you want to introduce yourself and go
Sure.
ahead and present your project?
Absolutely. Good evening. My name is Dana Altabello. I'm with Merrill Engineers and Land Surveyors. I'm here with the applicant, Mark Bossi. Excuse me. This project is located at 1222 South River Street, as you mentioned, which is on the northerly side of South River Street, approximately 1,000 feet from the intersection of Ferry Street. The parcel is located within the R1 Residential Rural Zoning District and consists of approximately 2.6 acres. There's an existing one-story garage up in the front of the property along South River Street in this area. And currently, there is a new single-family dwelling which is under construction further into the site. That's entirely outside of the 100-foot buffer zone. The wetland resource areas were delineated by Brad Holmes of Environmental Consulting and Restoration in 2025. The bordering vegetated wetlands are shown on the upgradient line here in blue. And there's an inland bank associated with a intermittent stream, which is also shown in blue down gradient of the BVW. The 175 and 50-foot buffer zones are shown in green, up gradient. Not sure why my hand's bouncing so much. Must have had too much coffee today. The property generally slopes from the northwest to the southeast across the property down towards the wetland resource areas. The site does not contain any vernal pools or estimated or priority habitat areas. The applicant has filed this notice of intent to permit the construction of a new pool house which is located back in this area, along with a portion of the pool deck and a pump chamber for the bathroom in the pool house, all located within the 100-foot buffer zone. There's also within the buffer zone a 40 by 70 sport court, which is up in this area. A portion of the existing garage will be converted into an ADU unit. So we're proposing a permeable paver patio to the rear of that structure. There's also a new concrete, bituminous concrete turnaround along South River Street, as well as a gravel parking area, which is also adjacent to South River Street. There's additional associated site grading throughout the buffer zone as well as part of this project. The closest point of alteration will be approximately 51 feet from the bordering vegetated wetland, and the closest point of structure will be the sport court, which is approximately 81 feet to the BVW. There is a contiguous line of proposed silt sock located down gradient of all work, shown in red here. I really had too much coffee. I apologize. This is to ensure that there's no sedimentation of the resource areas during construction. We've also received a DEP file number, which was issued, and no comments were received from DEP as part of that. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Mike, do you have any comments?
Yes, as noted by Mr. Altabello, the single-family home in the back is already under construction. It's well outside of that 100-foot buffer zone. Additionally, there are numerous activities within the buffer zone, including this driveway area up near the to-be-improved ADU garage structure. Notably, there's patio behind that will go pretty far into that buffer zone there. It is landscaping, so it is allowed past the 75-foot setback. Same thing with the grass play area there. Those are kind of the two components of this project that are closest to the wetlands. I feel very comfortable with that wetland delineation. It follows essentially the layout of that intermittent stream. And let's see. And is that driveway that currently services McDougal Excavation, is that essentially the same layout as the driveway to be constructed on the property?
I think it's pretty close.
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't think it was staked out, but we did stake that property line, so they
Yeah.
have it laid out based off the property line staking.
Okay. I will mention that the erosion controls on site currently are effective and do show signs that they're adequately placed and maintaining erosion correctly.
Can you tell me about the sport court? Like, what type of material is going to be used there, and can you just tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. Have you looked into it at all? Typically,
Yeah, probably concrete.
it's concrete. Sometimes it's overlaid with a rubber surface, so it's a little more like a basketball court.
Okay. And there's going to be fencing around it?
There will be fencing down gradient just to make sure that, if you're playing on there, you won't have to chase down the wetlands all the time.
What type of fencing?
Just chain link, I think. Probably black chain link, so it kind of disappears into the existing vegetation.
In the area where the sport court is proposed, I'll kind of go through the items one by one.
Sure.
Where the sport court is proposed, is that, what exists there now? Is that pre-disturbed?
A portion of it is. You can kind of see the existing tree line runs right here.
Yeah.
So there's an old cesspool that's right there. So some of this is already previously altered, but the majority of it is, kind of heavy vegetated as you're up here, and then it gets a little more densely vegetated down slope.
And there's no work that's being proposed within the 50, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Everything, the closest point of alteration will be 51 feet.
Where's that point?
It's kind of all along. We've just basically offset the 50-foot buffer there.
Yeah.
So we just made sure that the silt sock can be outside of the 50-foot buffer.
I know, I have some more questions. Do any of the commissioners have any
Um,
questions?
Keep going, I'll,
Okay.
I just have one question.
Sure.
There's a note on here that said 4-foot max depth of fill within lot 1 view easement?
That's correct.
So, what is the view easement?
The view easement kind of runs, there's a triangular line right up in this area. Right at this, for the benefit of 1250 Oak Street. Their views on the deed. So there's a requirement in the deeds that a structure can't be higher, a fence can't be higher than 4 feet, and a structure.
Oh,
can't be higher.
gotcha, all right.
Just so it doesn't block any views.
Okay.
That's what's the side.
And the pool house, it's a 12 by 20. Can you tell me more about the pool house? I think there was a note on the plan that we didn't receive any structural plans, but can you just give me some more information about what's intended there?
We haven't really gotten too far into that.
Yeah, probably just a kitchen, you know, like a area to go in, watch TV, refrigerator. That's about it.
There would be a small bathroom, just so.
Oh, and a bathroom,
Anybody
sorry.
using the pool doesn't have to go into the house and damage the floors there.
Is there gonna be any sort of additional patio area, like on the perimeter?
I would expect between the pool house and the pool itself, there would be some sort of patio in that area towards the.
Okay,
towards
but not on the other, not on the side that goes towards the wetland?
I
No.
don't think it'd be beyond the
No,
face
it
of
would be
the,
facing the pool area.
yeah.
And the grass play area, what's the condition of that site right now?
That's generally vegetated. That's kind of, we just, there's all, I think, there's a lot of slopes there, so
Yeah.
we're just trying to make sure the kids have a place to play lacrosse or baseball, or whatever they want to do with the site.
So is that where the majority of the grading will take place, or is that gonna be kind of throughout the project?
This is really a nice flat area we've kind of identified.
Okay.
So it's not, there will be grading, what we do is that we try to make sure it's not too much of a steep slope. Try to make the yard useful in that area.
So the gravel, the driveway that goes down along the length of the property will be gravel, and then the only part that's concrete is in the front there, on the, that circular part, or the half circle?
Yeah, so this area right here would be kind of concrete. This is bituminous concrete up in this area. This would be kind of maintained, I think there's an agreement to allow access up to the existing house.
Yep.
So they're maintaining
Oh,
the
oh, okay.
paved driveway, and then kind of making this gravel, and then this is just kind of getting gravel. I'm sorry, this is pavement as well, and then this will be a gravel parking area adjacent to the existing structure.
Is that existing driveway being repaved?
Probably a good portion of it is. Right now, there's a lot of puddling that's going on in there, so we're adding, or there's a drywall there that's probably failed and full of sediment. So we're proposing a new one, regrading the driveway just to make sure that we have positive drainage from all the corners. Right now, it's kind of a big puddle if you drive by there during a rainstorm. So ultimately, I anticipate that'll have to be completely repaved to a certain point anyways.
What is the, you guys 2-foot contours here, what is the slope kind of to the east of the court as well as the southeast of the pool house?
Down in this area?
Yeah.
We try to maintain a 3-to-1 slope in that area at a maximum.
Is that achieved, did you maintain it?
I believe we're pretty close to a couple spots. I think it gets a little bit tighter, maybe 2.5 to 1.
Yeah, I would, it looks like to the east of the sport court, it's pretty tight too. Like just off that easterly corner.
Yeah, this right here?
Yep,
Yep.
looks like that slope is
That is tight as well. We try to maintain, make sure we're not pushing too far.
Yeah, no, I got you. I would just recommend that any areas greater than 2-to-1 slope, or 3-to-1, excuse me, which I think that area, both of those areas are. If we could have erosion blankets until they're stabilized, that'd be helpful.
That's okay.
Sure.
They're just gonna be seated
I
like.
don't even know
Yeah.
what they are.
Yeah, it's just like when it's the mesh netting.
Juke netting.
Yeah, it
Kind of
goes.
staked in.
So when you
Gotcha.
stay, it's not a huge cost or anything
Gotcha.
like that.
Okay.
It just really prevents erosion for those steeper slopes.
Sure. Was it something, maybe as a condition, we can, if we notice it wiping, eroding in that area, we can.
Yeah, I think it will honestly help the grass grow.
Yeah, definitely.
Truthfully on that slope. But yeah, a condition is fine. It's pretty standard.
Sure.
Will there be any trees removed within the buffer zone as part of this?
Yes, well, there would be trees kind of in this area. Yeah.
Do you know how many trees?
I don't know how many.
When you say proposed tree line, is that to be planted, or is that where you propose to stop removing anything that is there now?
That's kind of where we anticipate stopping any cutting.
And the existing one-story garage, how long has that been there?
I was looking into that today earlier. I mean, if you look at the record, the property card, it says the house was built in 1890 or something like that. I'm not sure it was built back then. I think it was probably built at least when the U.S. Coast Guard was in that area or in that building. If you look at the floors and the structure in there, it doesn't look like somebody built it for a single-family dwelling. So I guess it's somewhere before the 70s, or there's
Okay.
a septic repair that was done in the 70s by the Coast Guard. So I imagine
It's been there a long time.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so.
So basically, all the vegetation would be cleared back to where it says proposed tree line?
That's correct. They're just trying to make, as much flat grass area for play areas for the kids.
If you look at the screen, this is the current tree line. It's pretty densely wooded.
Mike, is there existing clearing
Yeah.
inside the 100-foot buffer?
Not inside the 100-foot buffer, from what I could tell. It
That's
seemed like
silt
everything was. Yeah, this is the silt sock that was
They
out
cleared
there.
to the silt sock?
They cleared up to the silt sock, which
They
looked like it
cleared-
was roughly on the 100-foot setback.
Oh, okay, so the silt sock currently is not where it's shown here?
Yeah, it would be 50. So on the plan, it would be 50 feet closer to the resource area. Currently, nothing within the 100-foot buffer zone has been touched.
Okay.
And the existing one-story is going to remain as is, the one-story garage?
Yeah, more or less. It'll be modified to make it look more like a home at some point. But the idea is to turn that into an ADU and, have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not add a story or anything like that. Just,
Right.
Just,
I'm just wondering if there would be a way to tweak it so that it is inside the 75.
They were hoping to keep the structure as, it's a
Structure where
pretty
it is.
substantial structure as
Yeah.
it is, and it's very well built.
Okay.
So if they can dress it up a little bit, I think that would be ideal.
Yeah.
So all the area between the proposed sports court and the proposed dwelling will be what surface?
Grass and landscaping.
So all the trees will be cleared and it will be, you're gonna bring in a lot of fill and grade it?
Yeah, hopefully there's
Just
some
have
fill to be
grass?
moved around. cut down some of the slopes, push around, and so will be brought onto the property. Once we get through conservation, we'll have to go to the zoning board for the permit for adding fill to the property.
How much, Bill?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
What's the trigger
It
for
does
zoning?
500.
500 cubic yards?
Yeah, so we're beyond that.
Bless you.
I don't have an issue with this. Obviously, there is clearing within the 100-foot buffer, but I think they're maintaining the 50-foot buffer. I think we would definitely want either some sort of split rail or conservation markers across the 50-foot buffer throughout. But otherwise, I think, there's very limited structures in the 100-foot buffer. It's mostly grading and lawn area. Unfortunately, I don't think we have tree ordinances, like a tree ordinance on cutting down trees and replacing them.
Unfortunately, we do not.
Yeah, so,
It's something to be worked on.
I would like to see some trees remain, I mean, especially when you get down to the 50-foot buffer. Or down to the 75-foot buffer zone, especially on the steep slope.
Mike, you've been out there. What is the growth, the trees? Is it understory tree? It looks like it's mostly.
It's a combination. So there's towards the road, the understory is pretty sparse. When you get back here, there's definitely the primary vegetation becomes like briar thickets. So there is kind of a change in the understory between being closer to that stream and being further back into the woods.
Well, you wouldn't say like this area that's getting, it doesn't appear from this picture, I haven't been out to the site, but it's not like heavily forested land.
It's certainly forested. It's certainly untouched woods in a buffer zone to an intermittent stream.
Okay.
I think most of the briar and kind of some of the shrub and underbrush have been cleared over the years, more towards that existing garage structure. But when you get back here towards where the home is, in that buffer zone resource area, it's very heavily vegetated.
Do we think would you guys be open to, I would assume from a landscaping perspective, it's not just gonna be all.
Yeah, no, I'm getting a landscape architect to put some stuff to make it look pretty, I don't know exactly where yet, but I would imagine that we'll probably try to, where those trees are and more to the right, it slopes down pretty good. We're probably just gonna leave that area alone and put the sports court closer to where that pile of dirt is, and then maybe leave some of those trees. I don't see taking them all and filling it. I don't even, because you'd have to probably do a wall or something to just get the dirt up. And then beyond that is probably where the grass area would be. So I would envision that there'd still be some trees right in that area. Right where his mouse pointer is, right there. I would probably think it would be more open in the front, and then leave some of those, because it slopes off pretty good, and then maybe try to do the grass area beyond it.
With that, obviously the plan doesn't reflect that, just from a grading standpoint. Do you think we'd be able to, basically between the sport court, and I think Corey asked this, between the sport court and the grass play area, could that grading just be tightened up to the sport court, so the tree line could kind of come up towards at least the 100-foot buffer there? I think there's enough room to grade off the driveway, kind of just to the east or
I don't know what he's saying.
north. That's kind of what he was just describing as well.
This area right here.
Yeah.
So this being a sport court, this is kind of that grass area.
Yeah.
This area in here, they're wondering if this could remain. We had shown clearing just to show worst-case scenario. Is that something you might?
Like leave it all? I mean,
Some,
I would like to get some, you know, area to that right, because that's, the driveway's gonna go in. I'd like to put like a little, you know, like a wooden fence or something to kind of, in that area. I mean, I don't know.
Or maybe this might be an area that,
Yeah, that's more the area that I think,
this is not going to be very useful. So
Right.
it could be replanted with maybe some cedars or holly trees or
Okay.
something, some native species or something like that. That might be something
Yeah.
with that. So these steeper slopes, that would certainly be someplace that, you know, the holly, some native shrubbery and trees could be added in that area.
Can you update the plan to show the
Sure.
proposed plantings?
Yeah, I'd like to see a planting plan that shows, you know, where the trees will be maintained and where they won't, and what will be planted.
Sure, we could certainly do that.
Because I'm just looking at the aerial imagery, it seems like it's totally, canopy is like a mix of pines and deciduous trees.
Do you have a landscape architect yet, or?
I do. They're from Martha's Vineyard. They're clients of mine. They're gonna help me do it, but they haven't. I mean, I've sent them the preliminary plans, and we're kind of waiting for this meeting before we move forward with anything. It will be aesthetically pleasing, and, you know, I don't mind putting more trees in. I don't love taking trees down either. I don't want a big open area. I want a nice private, you know, dwelling in the back, so I don't mind that at all. If we have to keep some trees or plant some trees, I don't mind.
Is that something that maybe could be a condition of approval? We could maybe work with Mike and the landscape architect and kind of make sure that we're all on the same page?
I think with the project of this scope, it could be beneficial for the commission to review and approve the planting plan.
Well, I think we definitely want conservation markers along the 50-foot. I don't know how long is this run? It's,
I would say conservation markers every 50 feet or
That's what I was
75
gonna
feet.
say,
I- As an alternative, like I said though,
a fence?
a fence,
Yeah.
like some sort of split rail, or, I mean, if that grass play area, I mean, it's a pretty steep slope right off of it. It might be something that is put in the future anyway. I don't know what the thought is there, but
Sure, we can take a look at that.
What do you mean? What's a split fence?
like just a wooden fence that
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like a s-
Oh,
post
just-
and rail or.
Yeah, just so that no one even goes over there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
Kind of one of these.
yeah, if you were there, that's exactly what I'm gonna do, is that anyways on that side.
Yeah, I think
Because
so.
it does slow, like if a kid ran down, it goes
Yeah.
pretty steep, so I'd
think
do
so.
something for sure.
Something like that would be.
Yeah.
The same
And,
as conservation markers, really.
and if it is going to be a fence, conservation markers on the
Some of
fence.
them.
Go on the
On-
fence, yeah.
And those are just little placards that you
Okay.
get from like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have them here. So where are we on a planting plan, or,
we should,
I think it'd be beneficial if you
Yeah.
have a landscape architect already on board.
And we just haven't done anything with them yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think that will really probably alleviate some of the concerns. And like you said, I think it's probably going to be landscaped similar to what we are asking for anyway.
Sure.
Hopefully. I don't see that being, is that something you guys are open to, like, and you could have that pulled together relatively quickly, or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it takes. You know,
I
I've
would
never
say,
done it before.
We don't need like a super high
Yeah.
rate of precision,
Yeah.
like every plant, every place.
Yeah.
But if they could give us a general,
I mean, the trees,
Yeah.
the species of trees that
Yeah.
they're planning on planting. And the quantity, I think, would be helpful.
Yeah.
Or I could just keep trees, right? I mean, that's another,
Mm-hmm.
another option, right? They're already there. There's no
Yeah,
reason to
could be-
take them down and then put new ones up, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're gonna bring in all the fill, most of the trees would get covered if by the, like their root systems would get covered by fill. And they would die anyways.
Yeah.
But if you keep this grading the way it is.
I think a combination of maybe potentially tighten up some of the grades east of the sport court, between the sport court and the play area, with some planting could be beneficial. I think you'd probably be able to maintain some of the trees that exist.
Yeah, maybe not. It's kind of middle area, there might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And the fence on the 50, is that something you'd be willing to do as part of the project?
The split rail fence?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we'd do one anyways, to be honest. I mean, we have kids, so we're friends over. And I think I was gonna plan on doing a fence on both sides of the property.
Can you add that to the plan?
Sure, absolutely. So I have the fence and some general landscape information. That was it.
I think so. Any other questions from the commissioners? No? Is there anyone in the public who has any comment? You can stand up there and state your name for the record, please.
I'm Laurie Fopiano. I'm at 1210 South River. I got a notice as an abutter. And I'm sorry, I apologize. I wasn't able to hear him very well. The notice I got, it talks about construction of a pool house and these other things. Are they within the buffer zone? Is that why they're coming to you?
Yes.
Okay, yes, that's correct. So the 100-foot buffer zone, the limit of the Conservation Commission's jurisdiction, beside this property is here. It's kind of up in this area. So this is not really a green line area. So all the work is kind of shown in there, that's just fine.
So then, I mean, it's okay with you guys that they build a pool house in the buffer zone? I just wanted to check, because I know when we were building, we had to like remediate our buffer zone and put things in, so I just wanted to clarify when I go back home and talk to my husband or other neighbors and ask me what it's about. I just want to make sure I understand.
we have jurisdiction because of the wetland issues, but this plan meets our requirements for permitting.
Okay,
They are respecting the buffer zone to the wet areas, and that's why we have, here's 100 feet, 75, 50. They have to meet certain marks to be able to do what they need to do. And this plan is effectively enabling us to permit them because they are meeting their setbacks and their requirements.
okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience or on Zoom? So I'm gonna move to continue until we receive an
The
updated
planning
plan.
plan, yeah, an
Yeah.
updated plan.
So I'll make a motion to continue this to,
How do we not?
I guess, when do you think you'll be able to get the revised plans?
it- We could probably turn around pretty quickly. Mark is just wondering if there's any way to avoid, if we could maybe reduce some of the grading or something like that, if that's something the commission may, waive the requirement to come back. They're trying to build a house, and right now, it's getting kind of close to the existing erosion control, which is outside of the 100-foot buffer. So they're hoping, the builder is all over us to try to get the order of conditions.
Well,
So it might be possible to.
No, I understand that, but I think it would just be dependent on the turnaround time. I'm getting a revised plan, because I think all of us agree that we'd like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, the house construction is,
No, totally understand that.
Yeah,
I was just
not-
wondering if maybe if there was an agreement, if there was an area that we could eliminate the grading, that might be agreeable to the commission to, if we were to say that some trees would remain in this area, if that might be something that might preclude the requirement for a landscape plan, or at least a condition to come back, I guess.
Oh, if we don't change the grade and just leave the trees?
In this area, yeah, maybe if there was an area maybe up in here in between, as we kind of talked, if that might be something that, maybe that would.
I mean, that would be
requirement.
my preference to not bring in so much fill between the sports court and the play area and just leave it natural.
Is that something you'd be
Yeah,
comfortable
yeah, I really think that area is not, it's not that big of a deal. I think the sports court and then beyond it by the grass area, I think we could leave just the trees to, clean it up a little bit, but leave the trees themselves, don't bring in fill, would be
Yeah.
fine, and still do the fence.
Yeah, you could have a cool little trail or something.
Yeah,
And maybe if we, what is
Even
it?
better.
Maybe something like
Why are you guys laughing?
No, I like it. Good idea.
yeah. Because there's not a lot of usable space in there anyways. Even if we grade it, you're not gonna run from the sports court to that's gonna be kind of fenced off. You're gonna go into the sports court, I would think. So I'm fine with that, and it would be around you'd go, this would be open, and then you'd have the trees, and then you'd have the open grass area, just,
Actually be more, I think, a cooler property.
yeah, and it would be a little more private from the street, so. And I'm fine with that, I said it earlier, I just didn't know how to say it, but I don't mind leaving those trees in that middle area, and having the driveway just go along it, and then down, and then have it open up for the grass area, and then the sports court in the front. I'm fine with that, I'm totally fine with that. And still doing a fence, like a split rail fence wherever I need to. I think I'm gonna do it anyways because it's just probably safe.
Mhm.
It's not a big deal. And then you can I don't know if I can, but you clean up the area a little bit in between the trees. There's brush, there's trash. I mean, there's tons of stuff in there.
I would be
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
satisfied with that.
So
I mean, I
that would
think
be
that's-
just an amended plan to Mike.
Yeah,
With that?
so an amended plan with fence
Fence.
/ conservation markers.
Yeah, whatever.
On the fence.
Or just.
Oh, okay,
conservation
okay.
markers.
Either,
Either way.
you may not want to run the fence the entire length, so then maybe
Gotcha.
some conservation markers. But, and if there is a way for you to delineate an area on the plan
Where the trees will
where the
be.
trees,
It's kind of where you drew.
yeah.
As long as.
Yeah, just highlight
You
that
can
area.
just put
Yeah.
some kind of an indication on there.
Yeah. Mark might do that.
No, you did the,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah. And I think you're gonna have to do that, you're gonna have to tighten up the grades. You're gonna have to really pull them back
Yeah,
towards
pull
the
it.
sport court and then down. Yeah,
Pulling along, and
Yeah.
then by the time we get all this to an area.
yeah.
Bring it in, we'll have some crop there, we'll have some crop there.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, then I think we
Yeah.
can close, and you need an amended plan by
Yeah, by
Friday?
Friday, ideally.
Okay,
Just with that same highlighting you drew right up there.
sure.
You going back to work tonight?
Sheesh.
Mike, do you have any special conditions?
Yeah, I would suggest the following special conditions. General conditions 1 through 18, which are standard special conditions. Prior to construction, condition 5 and 2, to have a pre-construction meeting and stake out the site and structures. After construction, condition 1, to file for a certificate of compliance. During construction, condition 11, to ensure best management practices are followed. Erosion control, condition 1, to ensure that erosion control is in place and effective throughout duration of work. And then I will add that caveat about jute netting being implemented as needed. And then the split rail fence on the 50-foot setback and/or Concom markers on the 50-foot setback every 50 feet.
So I'll move to close the hearing and issue an order of conditions. May I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. Okay,
Thank you very much.
Awesome, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
thank you.
That's a good time.
Okay. 212 School Street.
We have the business item.
Pardon me?
We have the business item.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. Mr. Armstrong, going to do the business item next. 81 Grandview Avenue dock
Hey, Dan.
maintenance.
Good to see you. I'm Paul Armstrong, owner of Social Pile Driving. I'm here to represent the Girella family that owns 81 Grandview. Back in 2006, they were issued an order of conditions and a Chapter 91 license with a core permit and so on to construct a walkway going out to a seasonal float that's removable. And over the years, as time goes on, we learn things that work and don't work. This one here, the end where the pier goes out, there's a dog leg to the left where the ramp attaches to the pier. And there's 4 pilings that were installed. And honestly, they needed to be longer. So what has happened, it's caused the pier to, it's flexing a little bit. And as we know, we've looked at some of these on the, towards the edge of the bank of the marsh. It's crucial that we maintain that. And what I'm proposing is, I'm just gonna unbolt the existing deck that's there and remove that, extract the piles, and drive 4 new piles in the same spot, exact same holes again, but they'll be longer, so they're anchored and then cross-braced according to the plan. That's all we're, requesting to do. And in the order of conditions, basically we have to do it at high tide. And honestly, right now, because I have the barge in the river and everything's dormant, it's the time to do it. And I'm gonna be in and out of there in less than 4 hours doing the whole project. So it should only take us, an hour per pile. Basically, we're gonna pull the old ones out and just drive a new one right back in at the
And-
proper length.
When this commission issued your orders of conditions, it did not take into account maintenance, correct?
No, but it's in the license, that's the key.
But the Chapter
yes.
91
Chapter
license
91
does.
require, yes. And talking with Vin Manfredi from DEP, this is a standard procedure, and
Yep.
they require you to maintain these things, and that's the issue.
Yep.
So in our license, and it's listed right on the first page, is to construct and maintain. So that's the key.
So,
It's not required to do a new order and things like
Right.
that. It's just that they recommend that you go to the commission and tell them that you're doing the proposed work under the original orders, and you're just doing a maintenance project. That's it.
I am totally fine with this.
If I may add something.
Yes.
Our revised dock regulations and orders of condition that were developed by the commission do address this now, but at the time when this original order of conditions was issued, it didn't address it.
Didn't have
It's
the
a best
regs,
management
no.
practice to have that in the orders of condition now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'll take a vote just to make it official. I move to allow Mr. Armstrong to replace the piles as necessary at 81 Grandview on the dock. May I have a second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you. And I'll call Michael at the end of the day when we're done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, now we are 212 School Street. In compliance with the regulations of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Code of the Town of Marshfield, Chapter 294, Wetlands Protection, a public hearing will be held by the Marshfield Conservation Commission on Wednesday, January 7th, to consider the after-the-fact notice of intent filed for 212 School Street. And we have two here. We have 212 and we have 224.
Yeah.
Are you representing both?
Yes.
So can I just open them both and can we sort of consider them?
I think since they have separate DEP numbers, it would be cleaner
Okay,
to
do one at
have
a
separate
time then.
hearings. Yeah.
All right. The hearing officer is Commissioner Platt.
Actually, it's Sam. I have to actually recuse myself for this particular one. But I can come back for the other one if.
Yes.
somebody just wants to-
Yes. Yes, Sam has been assigned these
Yeah.
ones after.
Correct.
Ah, okay.
Mike, have all administrative requirements been met?
Yes, all administrative requirements have been met.
Okay. And before I hand it off to you, I'm going to just summarize. So this project it's an after-the-fact tree removal restoration. And the reason being was Mike was notified of some trees being cut, or tree activity being cut on both properties, both this hearing and the next one. And he issued a stop work order.
Yes.
And my understanding is there was work performed after the stop work order as well.
On this particular site, no work was conducted after that notice of violation stop work order happened. The neighboring property did go back out and grind all the stumps.
And then from there, an after-the-fact NOI was submitted. But the summary of what occurred is several trees were cut. There's an existing perennial stream that kind of traverses the front of the property along School Street, and several trees were cut within 5 feet of the perennial stream. Some of them on the bank of the perennial stream, from what I understand. 212 is the one. Is that 212, Mike, or 224?
Yeah, this one is 212 here.
Okay. All right. So,
The Hill One property.
but you can introduce yourself and kind of take it from there.
Sure, thank you. John Zimmer, South River Environmental. I was contracted by both the owners of 212 and 224, and I think it is appropriate that we handle both of them separately because there's a differential between what was done within the two properties. So within 212, there were a total of 5 trees that were removed. They were fairly large caliper, probably 10 to 15 inches. If you look in your NOI packets, there are some pictures of the trees before they were removed. And you can see they were set back a little further off of the bank than we'll talk about it at 224. So you can see there's 4 trees there that are pretty much adjacent to School Street. There was one additional tree that was taken along the tree line, basically just to the right of, oh, yeah, right there, Mike. So that tree right there. So you can see that the entire bank of the stream is lawn. It's been lawn for 30 or 40 years. I mean, in speaking with the owners, they're the second generation in that house. It's always been lawn. So what they asked me to do was to prepare a restoration plan to basically mitigate for the trees that were taken down. So what we're proposing are a total of 6 trees, 6 to 8 foot in height. Obviously, we can't put in the size of the trees that were done. So what I asked them to do was to include some additional restoration of the riverfront area. The stream, you can see, is pretty small. It wouldn't surprise me if it dried up in the summer, but it's actually intermittent as it comes down towards this property and then turns perennial, like right at the property. But, you know, I'm not here to argue whether or not it's perennial. But what we're proposing is an additional 525 square feet, basically along the tree line on the School Street side of the stream. So basically taking that out of lawn and putting in a total of 16 additional plants, a mixture of high bush blueberry, sweet pepper bush, and the owners wanted to put in some willow as well, so I included that. And then we would put in conservation markers basically along the edges of the additional restoration area. So that's kind of the plan. in a nutshell, they did ask for the ability to locate the trees to be put back in, rather than a clump, to maybe spread them out a little bit further along the stream, which I thought was okay. I did put them in a general box, but if the commission's amenable to allowing them to be spread out a little bit more, they might do a little bit better than clumping them together. So that's pretty much it. If you see on the site plan, it does say that there's, a bunch of proposed stuff on there. That was the site plan that they gave me, because they're looking at doing some stuff in the future. None of that is on the table. The notice of intent doesn't address any of that, so just wanted to make sure, in case you had questions as to, why is this proposed stuff on there. So that's it in a nutshell for this one. I'm happy to open it up to discussion, answer any questions. There is an additional BVW across School Street. It's not identified and not delineated, but, a portion of it does fall within the 100-foot, but the entire extent of work is within the 100-foot inner riparian area, so I didn't really feel that was germane.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have any comments or questions for Mr. Dillon?
It looks like you've put conservation markers on the plan.
Yes.
Are those the little rectangles?
They're basically the 4-foot cedar posts with the conservation markers on them. And we wanted it to be very clear that the restoration mitigation area is off limits, and that's typically the best way to do it.
So is it, I guess I'm just not clear on like where they're going. There's like a green line.
So if you look at that triangle that extends from the bank of the stream out to the limit of the green line, that triangle is where those plantings will go.
I mean, where the conservation markers would go?
Do you see the black dots there on the plan? Those are where the conservation posts and markers will go.
So there's 3 or 2.
There's 2. I think maybe I forgot to added one by accident up there. So it's the 2 that delineate the triangle.
Oh, okay.
What is the, it doesn't, what is the restoration area like? What are you thinking for something like that? Is it just like a seed mix? Is that?
No, we're gonna put in, I think it's 16 shrubs, or 12 shrubs and 2 small willow trees.
Oh, okay, on the back, sorry.
So yeah, so there's a full planting spec in
Yeah, I see.
the report, as well as, monitoring requirements for 2 years afterwards to make sure everything survives. It's fairly standard with what we've done with you guys in the past. Honestly, it may be a little bit overplanted for that size, but I wanted to kind of make sure that it's very clear that this is an area that has been planted.
I think it would be beneficial to spread out some of those plantings, as you discussed, the homeowner might be interested in, along the buffer zone to that perennial stream. It's pretty lightly vegetated over there, and that would help stabilize the bank in the long run as well.
Are you talking about the right side or?
Like where there's the small planting
That small,
towards the bottom here, if you can look at my cursor.
Yeah.
I believe it was, my understanding was the homeowner expressed interest in planting some of those plantings along the actual stream as opposed to within this rectangle.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure how close to the stream, but I think that they would like to spread them out with the
Yeah.
buffer area for sure.
Yeah,
I think that would
be preferable.
beneficial.
Yeah.
So there's like one tree remaining that hasn't been cut yet?
Yes. This,
It's like a cypress?
Yeah, it's actually, they told me what it was, because I looked at it, I was like, that tree is dead, so why did you guys leave that one? But it's actually, I want to say it's a type of redwood, or it's some strange non-native tree, but apparently it's not dead and it does very well in that condition.
Yeah, they just lose
Yep.
their needles.
Yeah, but they,
It's
they,
a
they,
large.
they left it, they left it
Is it
there.
a large?
Is it a large? I don't
Or
know.
is
It's not a large.
It's not?
No.
It's like a cypress, like a bald cypress. Like
Just the
somebody
way,
must-
the way that it comes down and spreads out a little bit, it does. But
It's
yeah,
kinda
I
weird
wasn't,
that-
I wasn't familiar with the type of tree that it was when they told me, so it's definitely not from around
Yeah.
here.
It's unusual to see
Yeah.
a cypress in Massachusetts. So that's staying, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what, I mean, the planting, the restoration plan doesn't give any details as to like
When it would be planted?
when it would be planted and like
Yeah,
how
it,
often it would be monitored and
Yep.
what will be monitored and
right, it,
there's no
it,
details on that.
sure, it would be planted in the, the spring of this coming year. And then it's gonna be monitored for 2 growing seasons afterwards. So typically what happens is when they plant it, I'll send you a completion report that it was planted, and then we go 2 years after that for monitoring. And you'll get a yearly report, basically documenting the survival of the plants, any recommendations that I might have with respect to additional measures that might need to be done. This,
Is the monitoring, that's all, we have a special condition that would cover that as well?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. That's typically a special condition we put in any sort of
Restoration?
planting plan, monitoring report type situation. Yeah.
Do we specify a success rate on those?
The 75% success rate over
75%.
2 years.
yep, and that's right in the report as well.
All right, any other commissioner comments on this?
Okay.
Corey, are you?
Yeah, I see monitoring, but it doesn't say like when you will monitor.
I think that's something also we can just condition.
I think that's in the condition. We actually have a schedule. If you plant in the spring,
The one thing I
Yeah.
will say with this, is there, in the conditions, can we specify that it needs to be planted this coming spring? Because typically orders and conditions are, what, 3 years?
Yeah, the orders of condition are typically 3 years for them to do the work. We could theoretically condition them to do the plantings in the spring, like or spell it out spring 2026 by April 1st or something.
Yeah,
But
I would probably say, like no later than,
June.
yeah,
Yeah.
May
Okay.
30th maybe. I want to make sure we're well into the growing season before we
Yeah.
plant.
I think that's just,
Yeah, I would.
if we could put some sort of timeline
Okay.
on it, just in the event that gets forgot about or.
yep, that does happen from time to time.
Does anyone in the public or on Zoom have any comments or questions regarding this project?
I'm Elise LaForest. I live at 240 School Street, which is just down the street from both of these people. And I just came to speak on behalf of both of them. This property has been lawn for over 40 years, and the trees that were removed, we are having a problem in the area with trees falling down. Right beyond that property, just a week or so ago, another tree fell and took out the power lines. I guess it must have been on the abutter's property on the other side. We live on this side. We lost a tree behind us just the week before last. As as weather has gotten more virulent and everything, we're all kind of in fear of some of the plantings that are, not plantings, that the trees that are left in our front yards. And I think personally, I think that they did the right thing in protecting their real estate, because the trees are coming down. So that's all I wanted to say. And living downstream, it has only been a short time, but we haven't seen anything happening in what has happened on their properties as it affects us, so.
Thank you.
I will say any activity within the 100-foot buffer zone needs review and permitting from the Conservation Commission, and that is the root of this violation.
Yeah, if people have hazard trees, we are perfectly willing to entertain having them taken down. But if they are in a wetland jurisdiction, we need people to come to us so that we can have some oversight and decide what needs to be replanted.
But that property for over 40 years has been on. There may be a stream there, but it has not been natural. And I don't know that you could consider it necessarily a buffer zone because it's been lawn. People have been mowing it for years.
Yeah, our concern is when you remove trees and their root systems, particularly when you grind stumps, you open the door to potential erosion. And I believe this feeds into the pond at the Rod and Gun Club.
It does. It
And
does
we
feed into
don't
the
want to have negative impacts further along. So, but thank you for your comments.
Does anyone else have any comments from the public or on Zoom? I don't think anyone on Zoom. They're all muted, right? All right, with that, I think so to summarize it, 10 trees are planted or proposed.
6. Well, yeah, 6 and then two smaller, or, yeah, 10.
10, yeah.
Sorry, the willows were
was gonna say,
smaller,
I
so
thought- I
I
just
was
counted.
thinking of the larger caliber trees, so no
So
thanks.
10 trees are proposed, so a 2-to-1 ratio of what was planted. In general, for this property, I think
Yeah, this one is,
I'm satisfied with what's proposed. I think spreading them out along either the frontage or the perennial stream is a good idea. Mike, I don't know if you want to, do you think we need like a plan with them shown, or
I think
pretty straightforward as long as they're spaced kind of?
I think it's pretty straightforward as long as, these plantings are clearly identified in the field.
Okay.
So that, when I come back after the 2 years or every year for that monitoring report, checking in on these sites, I'm able to identify where these trees were, what their location is, and what their condition is.
Okay. Yeah, that could be done.
Yeah.
But with that, I think, Mike, do you have any, what do you want to go through the special conditions and make sure the
Yep.
monitoring is?
Yep. I would suggest the following special conditions. General conditions 1 through 18, which are standard special conditions. Prior to construction, condition 5 and 2, to have the planting areas staked out and have that pre-construction meeting. During construction, condition 11, to ensure best management practices are followed. After the project, to file for that certificate of compliance. Erosion control would not be relevant here. And then also the 2 years of monitoring starting in the spring of 2026 and having to achieve that 75% success rate after 2 years.
I think the monitor, yeah, so the 2 growing seasons would be fall 26, spring 27. If you wanted to stipulate
Yeah.
the growing by May 31st of 26. The proposed plants are installed by May, the spring 26 growing season, or however you would word it.
Okay.
Is that it, Mike?
Yep. That's it.
All right, so I'd like to make a motion to issue the order of conditions for 212 School Street with Mike's special conditions as listed.
What is the DEP number?
Yes. The DEP number for this one is, I believe I updated this, 3170.
Okay, let me remake that motion. I'd like to make a motion for 212 School Street with Mike's special conditions that he just stated. Can I have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
Okay, next up is 224 School Street. Are you doing that, or is Jess?
You're doing
I
that.
think I am doing that.
Yep.
Okay.
I thought I was.
In compliance with the regulations of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Code of the Town of Marshfield, Chapter 294, Wetlands Protection, a public hearing will be held by the Marshfield Conservation Commission on Wednesday, January 7th, to consider the after-the-fact notice of intent filed for 224 School Street. And once again, Commissioner Malafront is the hearing officer.
Mike, have all administrative requirements been met?
Yes, all administrative requirements have been met.
And is
So-
this number 71?
This is number 71. Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. I'm sorry, go
No,
ahead.
you're right. So this is the same, it's the adjoining property to the west. Very similar scenario that we just kind of explained. Trees were cut, stop work order was issued. There's a perennial stream that runs along the frontage. Yeah, that's pretty much it if you wanted to.
Sure. John Zimmer, South River Environmental. This one's a little bit more complicated than the first one. The wards are new homeowners, newlyweds. They just moved into the house, I think, in 6 months. And they move forward with taking the trees down and basically looking at them as hazard trees with respect to their residents. They did not understand that they needed to come to conservation, before they did that. Apparently subsequent to Mike coming out and talking to them, they did grind the stumps. When I spoke with them, their rationale was that this would make it easier to replant now that we know we have to go back and restore it. So I'll, take the word for what it was. So what we're looking to do here is a similar type of restoration with a mixture of trees and shrubs. The difference here is that we're proposing to establish a 10-foot buffer off of the stream now. Right now, similar to 212, there was pre-existing disturbance on lawn right down to the stream. So what we're going to do is install, again, conservation marker posts 10 feet off the stream and replant. One of the things that I didn't realize until we went through and did the restoration plan is that the layout for School Street extends almost to the edge of the bank of the stream. So what you're seeing on the site plan for the layout of School Street is not the travel way of School Street. We'd like to go in and plant on the School Street side of the stream. I don't know if we need to get approval from the town or what. I mean, they obviously did work on that side of the stream as well. So we would like to put some plantings in on that side. Obviously at risk in case the town ever comes through and has to do maintenance for the road or something, then, they'd be on the hook for those, the owners would be on the hook for those plantings. But that's something I seek the commission's input on, rather than just leaving it as it is. We could just leave it as it is and allow it to revegetate naturally, but I think it's better to give it a jump start if we can. The planting plan itself has a total of 12 trees and then an additional 33 shrubs to kind of create a better diversity of plantings in there. I'm not sure if folks have been out to the site or not, but there really wasn't a well-established understory. So we're kind of looking to create some level of habitat and some additional vegetation there that can serve to maybe help with some of the water that comes down through there during significant storm events, because from what I've seen, the water can come down there pretty good. And if you've been out to the site, you can see that it's a cut stream. I mean, that there's really well-defined and sized banks, and basically no BVW to either side of it. So that's kind of the plan here. I mean, I'm open to additional recommendations from the commission. The owners now are very aware that anything they do in the future, they will need to come into the commission, because basically all of their developed area in the property is within the riverfront area. I think it's an unfortunate lesson for them, but at least now they understand what they need to do if they decide to do anything in the future within the property.
Thank you.
All right, commissioners, any comments on this property?
I have some comments. So the stream has associated bank with it, correct?
It does.
Okay. So on the WPA Form 3, I think it's just left blank as to resource area. Like there's nothing there next to where it says bank.
Right, typically, I guess technically it is bank. The resource area in this case is really riverfront area because it's a perennial stream. If it were an intermittent stream, that's typically when you have a 100-foot buffer zone off of the bank. Technically, you would have a 100-foot buffer, but it's wholly encompassed by the riverfront area. It doesn't change any of the restoration that we're proposing here.
Okay, just want to make sure that it's clearly identified because it looks like some of the trees were in the bank that were removed.
Specifically this one on the screen. It's like overhanging the bank.
Yep.
So I didn't know if like you had to kind of count that separately.
No, it typically isn't counted separately. If there was alteration of the bank itself, we would propose to go back and, restore that bank so it's, similar to how it was prior to the tree taken out. But it doesn't change how we approach restoration.
So on this site plan that you submitted, I guess it doesn't really show like where each plant would go.
And I in my restoration plans, I typically don't specify the exact locations because when you go to lay out the plantings, if you have to move a plant for one reason or another, having the exact spot specified doesn't allow you that ability to go and lay them out. So what will happen is I will go out and I'll lay the plants out, within that area, but I like to have the ability to move them and clump them, specifically based on the site conditions. I don't know if there's a rock underneath that we wouldn't be able to put a tree in,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it has to be like down to the, coordinate, but I'd like to see like, because it's a pretty big area with a lot of plants, I'd like to see like, generally where the tree's going, where the other plant's going, like.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that. The other thing that we could do is when I lay it out, I could coordinate with Mike if he wants to come out with me.
Isn't that what the other plan said, that Mike would,
Yeah.
Mike would come out and look at where the plantings were gonna take place?
Typically, that's how I like to do it.
Sign off on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I read that in the other one, I thought, but I don't think it's in this one.
Yeah.
I might be mistaken, but that makes sense.
That's, I think, what we typically do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could even build that in as a condition as well.
Yeah. I'm more concerned with the fact that the street is,
Right there.
yeah.
I mean, Mike, can you go back to one of the pictures so you can
Yep.
you can get a better sense as to where the street is relative to the stream?
So here's a guardrail.
Right, so you can see the
Right.
guardrail and the paved travelway. I mean, the layout for the street extends probably another 10 feet
At least.
from the travelway.
Right up to the edge.
Right.
I just would hate to see, a nice planting get done and then DPW comes in and,
I could reach out to the town engineer and see what his opinions are on doing plantings within that area.
I mean, and we could clump them closer to the stream itself
Right.
to allow.
yeah, to allow some wiggle room
Yeah.
there, but
I mean, can we permit, I mean, they'd be planting on town property. I see an issue.
I was actually just gonna bring this up too. Mike, is there an issue where these trees were cut on town property?
Good question.
Is that,
Additionally, I'm not sure about the number of trees, but the vast majority of the trees were cut on the home side of the stream with
anything on the
minimal.
street side of the,
I think there were a couple of pictures that I put in there that were pre-cutting, if that might give you a better sense.
Look
Yes.
it up on Google.
yeah,
Maps,
it's,
too.
Mike, you have good pictures on the Google Drive too of,
Yeah, I can pull up all of the Google Drive pictures.
Yeah.
Just give me a moment.
there's at least two right near the footbridge. I don't really know how that would be,
Well,
what would be done there?
would it make sense to put the trees, the red maples and the larger plants on the house side? And then
So there are
Put-
2 or 3. It looks like from what I can tell, it looks like there's 3 that were on the street side of that stream that were cut. This one's the one overhanging the bank there.
Yep.
I would say just, try to keep the larger,
Yeah, we could specify
Plants.
that all the trees be on the,
maybe put one on the other
Yeah.
side as close to the stream as you can,
Mhm.
and then put more of the shrubby plant material so that in the event anything in the future
yeah.
happened there, they wouldn't be taking down big trees, they'd be
Right.
taking down plethora or something,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fine.
I mean, it seems unlikely that that's so established, but we never know
Yeah,
what can go wrong.
right. Yeah, could we build that in as a condition, Mike, that, at least one tree be on the street side?
Yep, I can build that in.
All right, are we, this one, so 18 to 20 trees were cut in the stump's ground. It looks like so 12 trees proposed and 33 shrubs. Does the commission have any comments on that, or from a restoration standpoint or quantity standpoint?
My comment would be,
Mike?
it would be nice to see at least 1 or 2 additional white pines in that area. The vast majority of the trees cut on site were white pines, and the town is losing a lot of white pines recently.
Okay.
And also the root system of white pine is very shallow and very wide, which is, judging by the shape of the stream, I almost wonder if that's how the stream got its shape. There's definitely these overhanging banks. I think having a broad, shallow root system back in that environment would do well to support the bank.
Okay. Is that something that's replacing some of the species
Yeah.
we can do, or adding them, or?
Could we do 5 red maples and then we'll add 3 white pines, so we'll get a net of 2 additional trees?
I would say either that or 2 black cherry, 2 red oak, and 2 white pine. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that
Okay.
works. So we'll do, what was it,
6 red maple,
2 black
2
cherry?
black cherry, 2 red oak, and 2 white pine.
Okay.
And then this will be, Mike, from a special condition standpoint, the same
Yeah,
spring growing season.
the same language for the growing season and success rate.
And then we're also proposing 3 conservation posts
Yes.
on the property side.
On the property side, nothing on the School Street side.
Okay.
So I just have one concern about this property having, they cut all the trees, Mike put a stop work order, and then they came back and ground out all the stumps.
Yep.
I don't know, that seems like
These are the pictures I
getting off
took
on
when
the
I
wrong
first
foot
responded.
here. Like, that's not normally, if Mike puts a stop work order, call this number, you wouldn't come back a week later and be like, okay, let's grind out all the stumps and, make this all go away. It doesn't seem like what was done is really matching what is gonna be put back. So I prefer to have some security, like a bond or something, that they will actually go through with this. And I think we have the ability to ask for that. It's in our bylaw.
Well, I think the conditions of the planting requirements by a certain date, if the plantings aren't in by that date, I mean, you can issue additional enforcement and start fines, and they cannot get a certificate of compliance until there's 2 years of successful monitoring demonstrating that there's 75% survival. So if they wanted to do anything within the property and there's an existing order that hasn't been closed out, I mean, they wouldn't be able to do that.
It's a lien on the property.
Right? It's attached to the deed.
Also, that's a very good point, that if they don't do the plantings by the specified date in the orders of condition, they would then be in violation of their orders of condition.
And you can take enforcement on,
Yeah, the commission could move to file an enforcement order on that.
okay.
And Corey, I think, with this where we're specifying dates, my opinion is if it's not done in the spring, I would be in favor of, obviously, enforcement just because of what is taking place on both of these properties. I think specifying a date kind of helps us a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the filing and our orders of conditions effectively guarantee that you have to do the work, or there will be consequences. The
Okay.
property is encumbered, and, we get people in here who are trying to pull something over on us. I don't know these people, but I know John, and if they're a young couple who just bought, I certainly would not have known prior to serving on a conservation commission that a situation like this might require permitting. So, personally, I am willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're moving forward.
Also, going
With
off
the
of
filing?
that benefit of the doubt, I think from the stop work order, they probably interpreted that as no more cutting, not necessarily don't grind the stumps, which for a notice of violation of this type moving forward, that will definitely be specified. But there could have been some misinterpretation there.
All right. I think I read that.
Are you comfortable with that, Corey?
Yeah.
Does any other commissioners have any questions or comments on it? Does anyone in the public have any questions or comments on this project or on Zoom?
Good evening. My name's Leonard LaForest, 240 School Street, and I've lived there for over 40 years, coming on close to 50. I've known the people that own that house before. I knew the woman or the daughter of the woman that owned the house and sold us the land to build our house. The house that the Dolans are in was built after the house that the Wards are in. The Wards have only been there a couple of years. They're a young couple. They're trying their best. She's a nurse. He owns a business. And they're trying the best. What they've done to that house is absolutely amazing. And it's not mitigating anything about the trees. I'm sure that they would have gone for the permit and applied for it if they had been aware of it. I'm just saying that they did know that a tree had fallen and pierced the roof on the house that they're living in and went right through the attic and into the living area. So I think there's a little bit of fear in there, and all I'm saying is that a little background, and I would like to see if the commission would take into consideration some of the replantings or some of the penalties that are against them, and that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else on
Bless you.
Zoom or in the public?
I have just one thing to add.
Mike, you-
Do you know what company did this work? It's pretty atypical that a tree company would do this amount of work within the 25-foot buffer zone and not check with us.
I can probably find out from.
I'd like to just talk to them and remind them of our buffer zone regulations in town.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Mike. With that, does any other commissioners have any questions, comments? I think the only change with this one is the species.
Yep. Mike, do you want me to email over an updated table or anything like that? With
That would be helpful, just to supplement what we discussed tonight.
And then, Mike, you're going to be, as a condition, you'll be on site or notified of when the plant.
Yeah, John and I will go out there and take a look at where the plantings will go.
Okay. Mike, do you have any special conditions for this project?
Yes, the planting plan special condition as discussed in the previous special conditions about the planting occurring no later than May 30th, 2026, the 2 years of monitoring and the 75% success rate. Additionally, those Concom markers as noted in the site plan should be installed. Erosion control is not relevant here. After construction, file for the certificate of compliance. During construction, ensure best management practices are followed. Prior to plantings, we'll stake out the site and have that pre-construction meeting, and then our general conditions 1 through 18, which are our standard special conditions.
Okay. I'll make a motion to close public hearing and issue the order of conditions with Mike's special conditions that he just listed. Can I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have 1339 Ferry Street. This is a continued hearing, and the hearing officer is Commissioner Miles.
Okay,
I
so,
am Paul Stieberg from Grady Consulting, here to present the project.
okay, go ahead.
So since we met last on December 17th, the commission requested we review some things and add a few more things to the plan. The concrete walkways and patios are now proposed to be pervious pavers as requested. The impervious coverage table has been updated to reflect the revisions. And we're now reducing the impervious coverage by 51 square feet approximately. We've reviewed the coastal bank delineation and added the coastal bank to the plan, which is, you can't see it there where Mike has the cursor, but it's just south of just east of Ferry Street. And that was delineated in accordance with the Wetlands Program Policy 92-1 for coastal banks. And also the WPA Form 3 was updated to include that the site is within an ORW as requested. So I'd be happy to answer any additional questions the commission may have.
Thank you. No, I don't have any additional comments on this. Anybody else have any additional?
I had a couple questions. So I did watch, I wasn't at the last hearing, but I did watch the recording of it and signed off on it. But one thing that I think is, so the erosion control is in the right of way, like of Ferry Street. So that was one thing I was curious about, how we typically handled that.
Yeah, that's a dead end at Ferry Street. It kind of ends right there.
Right.
I thought it'd be more beneficial to have that go across the, go across like that to add some more protection to the resource area.
This is
But
also-
yeah.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, Paul.
That's okay, and I believe it might actually be a private roadway there too, so they could actually own across the way, but we have to actually confirm that.
Well, they would own to the center line, right, of a private road?
Well, they own both sides.
Oh, they do?
So, yeah.
And, this is essentially the end of the improved road. Beyond this property, it becomes gravel and unimproved. It's mostly just people's backyards and then their residential docks on the south, on the
So
yeah,
there's
the
a-
South River.
Paul, there's a parcel across Ferry Street towards the river that they own?
Yes, yeah, they have a dock on that side.
Okay. So that was one comment. It still is I think town land unless it's private.
As far as I know, that would be town land. If it's within the layout of Ferry Street, it could be a better idea to have that erosion control wrap around the front of the property without crossing
Yeah,
onto
I
Ferry
think that
Street.
could be something. So
Yeah, that's fine.
The other thing that I did see is, so you're only accounting for the impervious that's located on the property. There is a comparatively to what's proposed on site, there is like a decent area of driveway between the paved Ferry Street and the property line that wasn't accounted for in the proposed impervious. And then with that, I'm truthfully a little confused, and I don't know if it was thought of how this driveway is going to work. So there's a stone retaining wall there now, which is like a 2-foot retaining wall. And the septic system, so the leaching system that's out front, the top of the system is almost elevation 10. And the roadway elevation is 10.5. So there's not contours or proposed contours on this plan. I just think that's something that might be overlooked, and I unless you plan on.
No, the site's actually gonna be coming down a little bit in the front. The retaining wall will be removed.
No, I understand that. I'm saying that the leaching system that's proposed, so your top of leaching system is 10, let's call it.
Right.
So by the time you get to the leaching system, you're going to be less than 8 inches above it, or maybe a foot.
So the roadway is at 10.5 right at the driveway.
Right.
So as we get to the retaining wall, we'll be at 11, a half a foot higher, which will be a foot of cover over the leaching system at elevation 10.
Okay. Yeah, as long as that's achieved,
There's no issues there. It's perfectly achievable.
okay.
Is that enough?
12 inches is the minimum
Oh, okay.
for Title V. It's close, for sure. But yeah, that other impervious area, that's something that definitely is not accounted for. And this is riverfront area, so.
What, the driveway?
The driveway between the property line and Ferry Street, if the proposed impervious area that's shown on this plan doesn't include that.
Oh,
So it's actually 114 square feet greater than what's shown as proposed. So it's actually like 1,900. close to.
Oh,
And then it also, I mean, the pervious pavers, I love them, but if they're not maintained, they turn impervious very quickly. So it's, I mean, this is a tight site. It's a modification of existing house, but I think it's maybe something that could be discussed and looked at.
I mean, that is a very small increase in impervious coverage. Just that little area in front of between the house and between the roadway and the property line.
Yeah, I mean, comparatively, I would disagree. I mean, it's a 15% increase on the property, right? So, square footage wise maybe, but comparatively to what's existing impervious. I don't know, if this was a project, if this site was undeveloped or just lawn area,
Would,
when you look at it that way, it's the impervious is something that matters in the riverfront, so.
one of the things I discussed with the client on this is he was willing to do, instead of an entirely concrete driveway, he was willing to do like, basically concrete strips going up to the garage area instead of doing, you know what I'm saying, with the grass strip area in between, if that would be something the commission would consider.
Yeah, I think that would satisfy,
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be perfect.
right.
Because I think that would get you well under the impervious area coverage.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe 4 feet wide on each concrete strip, if that'd be okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good to me.
yeah, that's fine. Mike, and I don't, straw wattle, I would suggest putting it on at least the property side of the.
Yeah, I would suggest putting it on the property side of Ferry Street as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I just thought it'd be a little bit better on the resource area and protection to be on the other side, but.
I've seen some people drive their cars down there too. I wouldn't be surprised if that erosion control just gets flattened over the course of a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any other comments.
Okay. All right, I guess I'll make a motion to close the hearing, issue the order of conditions. Oh, did we do public comment? Mike, did you have special conditions?
Yes, I do. I would like to suggest the following special conditions. General conditions 1 through 18, which are standard special conditions. Prior to construction, condition 5 and 2, to have a pre-construction meeting and stake out the site. During construction, condition 11, ensure best management practices are followed. After construction, condition 1, to file for the certificate of compliance. Erosion control, condition 1, to ensure erosion control is in place and effective throughout duration of work. And then, could we get the revised site plan noting the changes to the driveway and the erosion control by Friday?
Yes, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll make a motion to close the hearing and issue the order of conditions. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, next up is 24 Old Beach Road. This is an open hearing, and the hearing officer is Bert O'Donnell, who is not here tonight, so I will take over. And I don't think we had any discussion on 1217, did we? Did we just continue?
I think it was just continued, yeah.
Yeah, open and continue. Okay.
Brian Taylor from Stembeck and Taylor. Well, you're used to seeing Rick here, but I have his narrative, which I'll read into the record, the applicable parts. The property is a flat, single-family house lot located on the north side of Old Beach Road. Property is located about 260 feet landward of the seawall and is located in an AO3 zone, flood zone. It's developed with a house, a stone driveway, a lawn, and a brushy cedar area at the rear. The enlarged deck will be built on sonotubes with wood posts. It will be elevated above the grade about 3 feet. The existing house is elevated above grade on concrete piers. The shed will also be built above grade. The proposed area for the shed is currently established lawn. The applicant has also proposed to fence in a portion of the rear yard to keep their dogs safe. Specific construction details have not been provided to us by a contractor, but typically the described work does not require large equipment or significant excavation. So as you can see on the plan, there's an existing deck on the front of the house. And as Rick stated there, the lot's very flat. The deck is going to, it's approximately 5 feet or so, 4 to 5 feet in the front in depth. We're increasing that to 10 feet to give them more area. And then we'll be 50 feet wide across the front to give them more usable area on the deck. The fence will be just inside the property line as shown on the plan. And the proposed shed on sonotubes or blocks is located to the rear portion of the lot. There's a nice stand of cedars that provides a good environment, actually, habitat area. It's not, we're not in a critical habitat area at all, but there's not too many trees in that neck of the woods.
No, there are not.
So we're preserving that. So we're keeping the shed forward of the trees. And the fence will continue along the back of the shed to the other property line. The property's staked out, did the survey on it, it's all marked out.
Okay. Mike, what are your comments?
So my comments are that the commission has recognized this area as a unmapped barrier beach coastal dune environment. So the shed would have to have proper clearance of that 2 feet. It's proposed on either sonotubes or blocks. I believe sonotubes would be a better option there, but really whatever maintains that 2 foot clearance and, you know, also doesn't channelize water, things like a concrete foundation would not be a good idea there. Additionally, the fencing would have to be picket fencing per Barrier Beach coastal dune requirements. So it couldn't be solid wall vinyl, and it would have to have at least a 6-inch gap between the bottom horizontal fence post and the ground. I have no issues with the proposed deck. It's less than 4 feet high. As long as it's above 2 feet high, that's fine. And then the sonotubes or posts would be an acceptable footing there.
The only thing, Mike, they have a dog, so they're trying to keep the dog in. So could they put hardware cloth or something on the bottom 6 inches?
Yeah, I don't see why that would be an issue, like some sort of landscaping cloth or plastic mesh or something.
I'm thinking the hardware cloth. I did that with my own dogs because then they can't dig it up. You can't dig it down.
Yeah, hardware cloth, rabbit
Yeah.
fencing,
Galvanized.
something with that would allow the flow of water
Exactly.
to freely
Yeah.
pass.
And all the other things you cited, absolutely no problem. Sonotubes, 2 foot clearance under the shed. We'll just have to have a little bit bigger ramp.
Any commissioner comments? Nobody?
No.
Any comments from the audience? Hearing none, I will move to close the hearing and issue special conditions.
I would suggest the following special conditions. General conditions 1 through 18 are standard special conditions. Prior to construction, condition 5 and 2, to have a pre-construction meeting and stake out the site. During construction, condition 11, ensure best management practices are followed. After construction, condition 1, to file for a certificate of compliance. And no erosion control would be relevant for this project.
And can you specify the fence needs to be?
Yes, I will put in that Barrier Beach coastal dune language in there. It's pretty standard boilerplate requiring that 2 feet of space between the structure and the ground. And then also we have some language for the fencing as well.
6 inches on the
Yep.
fence, but. Okay, may I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, appreciate it.
Okay, now we are on to the airport. And the hearing, this is an open hearing, and the commissioner is Commissioner Malafronte, hearing officer, rather.
Thank you. That was here for that, right?
Yes.
Did we miss 80 Sawyer's?
Those are continued. I'm going to do them at the
Okay.
end.
We should have Craig Schuster.
Hello. Trying to get my camera to work. There we go. And I'm Susanna Souza. I'm on too from GZA. And Joe Rogers will be joining us shortly, also from GZA. Would you like me to go ahead and introduce?
Yes, if you don't mind.
Okay, great, yeah. At the last hearing for this project, we introduced and discussed the project. At the end of the hearing, the outcome was the request for us to produce a revised site plan on a single sheet. Prior to this meeting, the revised plan was provided to the commission along with a request for the exemption from the stamp from a registered land surveyor. The revised plan includes updates such as the offset distances between the existing and proposed building and the apron, as well as the distance between the proposed building and the existing fueling pad, fuel farm tank, as well as the addition of a concrete berm extending from the existing fuel farm around 2 sides of the fueling pad. And also, since the last hearing, a file number has been provided by the DEP for the project. I believe those are updates.
Thank you. From my review of the previous meeting as well as the updated plan, I think all of the comments that were brought up have been addressed, unless the other commissioners have.
According to my list, they have addressed everything.
Okay. Bill, do you have any?
I just, William Finn, 96 Dog Lane, consultant to the commission, and I would just, for the record, note that I was here at the last hearing and did have comments on the plan at the last hearing in case, for the odd chance that somebody appeals this, I can testify at the appeal. So that's just for the record. And as far as I'm concerned, I've reviewed the resubmittal, and I agree that it satisfies the commission's requirements that were previously made.
Okay. Do any other commissioners or anyone from the public or the design team have anything to add or comments or questions? Mike, do you have any additional comments or special conditions?
It's just the following special conditions. Our general conditions, 1 through 18, which are standard special conditions. Prior to construction, condition 5 and 2, to have the site staked out and have a pre-construction meeting. During construction, condition 11, to ensure best management practices are followed. After construction, condition 1, to file for a certificate of compliance. And erosion control, condition 1, to ensure erosion control is in place and functioning throughout duration of work.
Okay. With that, I'd like to make a motion, or I'd like to close the public hearing and make a motion to issue the order of conditions with Mike's special conditions. Can I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Have a good night. Good night.
Okay, we have 3 continuations. SE 423165 has requested, 180 Sawyers Lane, requested to continue to January 17th. I move to allow that. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
SE 423164 has also requested continuation to the 17th. I move to grant that. Second, please.
The 21st.
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 January 21st.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. Stuck on 17. January 21st. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And SE 423161, 13 Water Street, has asked to continue also to, we'll move them to the 21st. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And now we have requests for certificates of compliance. 81 Constellation Road, SE 420477.
Early one.
Wow. All work is done in accordance with the 1987 site plan. I move to issue a COC for SE 420477. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. SE 421690, we are still waiting on the movement of the mechanicals, so I move to continue that to the 21st. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. SE 423103, 278 Foster Avenue. We are still waiting for an update on breakaway panels for their skirting, so I move to continue to January 21st. A second, please.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And SE 423108, 177 Standish Road. All work done in accordance with the plan. I move to issue a COC. A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That concludes our business. I move to close the Conservation Commission meeting for Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.